Welcome to the Agenda Report. I'm Robert Zimmerman Jr. Let's get started. It's a very busy news night as we learn of a man in a rented van in Toronto who mows down and kills 9 people and injures 16, which leads the fake news to ask the ultimate stupid question. Also, the latest breaking details regarding the hospitalization and condition of America's 41st President, George H.W. Bush, and round 3 of the fake news Waffle House distortion dance. We start by sharing the news that Nashville tonight breathes a sigh of relief as the Waffle House shooting suspect is announced to be in custody by authorities. The suspect, Travis Ranking, moved to Nashville sometime last year, and according to reports, his family became very concerned when he insisted Taylor Swift was stalking him and responsible for hacks into his cell phone and Netflix account. Last July, he was arrested for crossing into an unauthorized area after he disregarded a Secret Service checkpoint in an attempt to meet with President Trump. His weapons were voluntarily surrendered, apparently as a result of the incident, to the Tazewell County Sheriff's Office, who then returned them to his father after he, quote, assured deputies that he would keep them secure and away from Travis, end quote. Mr. Ranking, the suspect, recently stole a BMW and led police on a high-speed chase that they abandoned out of concerns for the public's safety. At some point, he came into possession of the weapons he surrendered. The sheriff says he has no information as to how that happened, and his father hasn't been reached for comment. We all know what he did with the weapon he surrendered and later got his hands on. So let's recap. His family thought he had gone bananas, so did the Secret Service, and the sheriff's office was thrown into the mix as well. As soon as it was reported the suspect used an AR-15, also known as the weapon of war by the fake news, the gun grab rhetoric started. They backed off when they learned the police gave them back. And of course, as soon as 3 of 4 of the victims who died were identified as black, the fake news moved on to the next, even more sensational narrative. There is a race story here. Fortunately, Nashville Mayor Mr. Briley seemed to shut down that narrative by indicating that there were no signs of race being a motivating factor, but rather indications of mental illness. As soon as he was captured, the fake news jumped all over the story about our underfunded and out-of-reach mental health care system that we can all agree needs our attention, right? Wrong. The fake news headlines featured the word they use as a rallying cry for Second Amendment abolitionists: handgun. In other words, the most important fact regarding this madman's capture isn't the fact that a single shot wasn't fired, that there were no casualties, not a peep about the agency who apprehended him or the location and condition of his apprehension, no. The headlines include the words Waffle House suspect and handgun, because handguns. He's bad folks, really, really bad, and he had a handgun. Never mind the Secret Service, his family, Taylor Swift, his arrest, delusions, high-speed chase in a stolen car, the fact that law enforcement had the weapons that he used in their possession. They want you to focus on the handgun that was unloaded in his backpack because facts aren't as important as firing up the spin machine for attempt number 3 at peddling a story that simply doesn't exist. Don't worry, we're ready for round 3. In Toronto, the suspect who used a rented van to mow down and kill 9 people and injure others today has been taken into custody. As the truly disturbing news broke, the fake news was first to reach out to their affiliates so they could broadcast the images of the carnage. They showed video of witnesses describing the event as nothing other than unspeakable. Some witnesses could barely contain their emotion, describing faces full of blood, limbs twisted, lifeless bodies, and other horrors. So, the fake news asked the stupidest question of all time as if we have never seen this before. Is it terrorism? Of course, we all know that using a vehicle to kill pedestrians in a premeditated fashion intended to cause fear and panic is the definition of terrorism. It isn't Twister. What the fake news is really asking is the suspect a Muslim? And if so, what alternative terror motive will we promote on behalf of radical Islam? Radical Islamic terrorism is something the fake news is still discovering. They don't think it's real because talking about it isn't politically correct. And it interferes with propagating the illusion that all refugees from majority Muslim countries are harmless. We've seen this movie before CNN, and we know how it ends. Thanks, but no thanks. We'll use our own powers of observation to inform us of the obvious. And finally, George H.W. Bush is at Houston Methodist Hospital this hour in intensive care. He is responding to antibiotics to treat sepsis, according to a statement released by his office. President Bush was admitted yesterday, Sunday morning, literally on the heels, hours after his wife's burial on Saturday. The president suffers from Parkinson's disease and is 93 years old, which complicates anyone's recovery from infection. So we will be watching, waiting, and praying for him and those who love him. If you like this video, please subscribe so you never miss an episode, because every single subscriber is a big deal to us. Thank you for subscribing and for watching. Follow us on Twitter at FFNUSA, and remember, we're 100% Patriot powered, so visit our website to learn more about our organization, to sign up to volunteer, or to invest in our future with a financial gift. Thanks.